Hola. I really don't know how to talk about this topic, but I really just want to jump in here. And I'm really nervous to talk about this. This is going to be my opinion. This is going to be based off of my experiences and what I've seen on the internet. But I want to talk about Latino influencers and their representation of our community. There is a lot of frustration that I'm seeing, and I just recently saw a video about this. This is why I want to talk about this. And there's a frustration amongst a lot of people who view TikTok and see Latino, I'm not going to name names, but see Latino influencers kind of just misrepresent. I don't even know if it's misrepresenting, but kind of throw our image into the trash. And not that it should matter necessarily what that about images and things like that, but this representation is a real thing. Representation, if I look up, Latin influencers or Latino on TikTok, and what I find is the group of people that have been called out multiple times for misrepresenting, I'm going to have a certain image. I'm going to have a certain thought. And when I encounter Latinos, for example, if I wasn't one, if I encounter Latinos in real life and all I can think of are certain influencers that are really popular on TikTok, then I'm going to have a very negative view of Latinos and who they are as people. Because, it's one thing to be represented in a movie or a TV show, and it's a completely other thing to be looking at influencers. And I know influencers have a level of like highlight reel, have a level of like there is not 100% authenticity in everything, but it is a much closer step to Latin people than you would see in a TV show or a movie or anything like that. Like that's a script that's acted, and that exists on TikTok as well, but it's different. This is the community, this is the content that they are making. This is them talking about them, showing us them. And it might not be 100% accurate, but this is what they're showing us. And when I look it up, this is who Latinos are, and now I have an image of who they are, and I'm walking around, and when I meet a Latino, the first thing that pops in my head are these influencers. That is why representation is so important, why it actually matters. Because when you bring out when you reinforce stereotypes that are negative, when you create new ones that are negative, and you continuously do that and you see a pattern, it is very frustrating. And I get the Latino community who I don't want to make this long. I get the Latino community who's on TikTok frustrated, making videos about how they're sick of these influencers, how they're frustrated with these influencers, because honestly, I don't view those people. So when I am presented or when I find these people out, it's because someone is complaining about them. Someone's complaining how they are representing us or how they're making a joke of our community, our culture, whatever it is. But yeah, this is mainly it's mainly Latin Americans, so Latinos who grew up here in the US or moved here when they're young. Some like native Latinos, whatever it is. It's a mix, but mainly it's the ones that were born here in the US. And that that includes myself. I don't make videos in Spanish, and I don't talk about Latino things all the time. Someone was mentioning that some of the things that are negatively portrayed online is that Latinos often have kids very, very young, and they drop out of school and they think it's a joke, and they kind of stay in this ignorant way of thinking. They kind of, now these are just like things I've seen online, but this is the image that's being portrayed. Latinos don't value education. Latinos care more about, repopulating and working than going to college. Latinos think everything's a joke. Latinos don't care about their health necessarily. Latinos, blah, 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 just kind of degrading on what Latinos, who they are as a community. Of course, it's undeniable. We have a beautiful culture. We have amazing food. It's undeniable. You can't fight that. But what these influencers are doing are kind of clogging that beautifulness. Like, we have amazing food. We have amazing music. We have, we have dance in our blood, and we have these beautiful colors, like, and holidays, like, and landscapes, and like all these things. Like, we have all of these things that are true to us, and it's very hard to erase that. But it can feel very annoying to it can be very annoying to be presented with this version of who Latinos are. It's annoying to see that, and I get the frustration. one thing people are complaining about is that Latinos aren't bringing up the issues that are happening right now in the US. Although I've made several skits about it, and I've made kind of tying it into the content that I make about education. I don't know if people necessarily see me as Latina online, but maybe because I don't speak in Spanish, or maybe because I don't have an accent or as strong of an accent. Oh, sorry, low power mode. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe because I don't dress a certain way. I don't know what it is, but I surely do hope that. And I mean, I don't know. I wear my hair naturally. I do use Spanish phrases all the time. I end every video with "Yo te amo," but that might not be enough. I don't necessarily consider myself whitewashed. I do speak the language. I do know the culture. I'm well immersed in it. It's my life, you know. I'm not Latina. I want to talk about that as well. Just like, there's a whole nother video that I can make about Latinos, but I'll save it for next time. But this is mainly about what's being presented online. I hope that there are Latinos out there who can find me. Someone like me, someone like Yolanda. I don't see these influencers because I'm not looking for that. I know who I am, and I know how great the Latino community is. Our family is sacred, and you know, there's pros and cons to that, of course, but our food, like our jewelry, even like our traditions, like all of that is so, like, Americans are used to it. Not used to it, but Americans are familiar with it. They see it. Mexico is so close. Latin America is so close. It's literally here, you know? And we have so many Spanish speakers in this country. That doesn't mean that they fully understand, or that everyone really fully understands. And that doesn't mean that we can just go around making jokes. And usually the influencers they talk about are on the younger side, but there are older Latinos who are, as a person who grew up here in privilege and whatever it is, often give off this kind of less than idea of who we are, and they kind of don't. There's certain things that they make fun of, make light of, or just kind of throw around Spanish words to their advantage. I'm not saying don't, like, if you want to express yourself that way, that's perfectly fine. It sucks though, because you know, that's not who we are. And you know what? That might be a certain subsect of Latino identity that exists in America. I do, however, and this is something I've been talking to my sister about, something I've been talking about for a while. I do, however, feel like my whole life I thought Latinos valued education. I thought they came here for better lives for their kids, which is true. However, that was my reality. I'm starting to find out that is not the reality of many others. Their parents came here and brought them their kids, or they had their kids here, whatever it was. And as much as they say, oh, focus on your studies, it is not as important as maybe other cultures, or like, I don't know. I do really feel like if you are Latino and you are brought here, you don't know. First of all, you don't owe anyone anything. The choice to like immigrate here was your parents, right? That's their journey. That's decisions they made. Perhaps they made it with you in mind, but you don't owe anyone anything, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, at the very least, a high school diploma is free. It is the one free thing you get. If you are here young enough to where you went to school, get that diploma. Don't play games. Talk about GED, you're not going to do it. You're already in high school. If you are in high school, middle school, whatever it is, get your degree. It is the one thing that you can say is yours, that you can hold on to, that is free. College, if you can't afford college, if you can't do college for whatever reason, you need to work right away, that's fine. If you can get your diploma, get it. It is free. And it's one of the easiest diplomas you can get. A lot of the work is showing up. A lot of the, like, you don't have to do too much to get it. A lot of you like to play around. I'm being, like, this is just teenagers, but like, I'm being honest with you, the Latino community, I see you. I work in schools and I was in school. A lot of you play around too much. A lot of you like go on joyrides, and a lot of you are snickering and hollering in the back. Okay? Truthfully, this is not a game. Truthfully, I'm not saying that you need to go to Harvard. That is not what I'm saying. I'm not even saying you gotta go to college. Okay? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it is one of the easiest diplomas you can get. It's one of the easiest things you can get for free. You are being handed something. All they're asking, you pay attention and you show up. Your parents, that's all they're asking. The school itself, that's all they're asking. And you can't even do that? It's a joke. It's joke.